Hello guys, it's Kenneth, and in today's video, I kind of just want to briefly go over like a factoring trick that, a lot of people learn, but others don't, right? Because I don't think I ever learned this in school. I learned this probably from the organic chemistry tutor, um, and you probably know him, so check out his videos if you haven't. Um, but anyways, let's get into it. So because this won't be a long video. So say we have something like this, like x squared minus 4x plus 3. So you may have been taught in school to try and find something that adds up to like -4 and multiplies to like +3. And that's the correct thinking, right? So let's see what adds up, or I guess first we could say what multiplies to +3. Well, we could say 3 and 1 or -3 and -1. And then out of these, which ones add up to -4? Well, it's pretty obviously this one, right? So, and then we say like, okay, well, we then have to factor it given that those are values, and we simply would do this, right? And you might have learned that in school, probably did. Unless you're in Algebra 1 right now, maybe you're learning that right now. Um, so yeah, this isn't that bad because then you can see that that goes to x squared, and then minus 3x when you do that, and then minus 1x, and then plus 3. And then you'll see that that would go to x squared minus 4x plus 3. Now that's a pretty known method, right? And sometimes what your teachers will have you do is make an x, and it'll kind of go like the last thing goes up here, and then the middle term goes here, and then you get what adds to this, and or yeah, and what multiplies to this, and that'd still be your -3 and -1, which is what we just talked about. But what I want to talk about in this video is something like this up here, right? So let me erase this. So something like 5x squared minus 7x minus 12. Well, you can't easily take out a term from any of these to like as a greatest common factor, which you probably learned about or might be learning about. Like, for example, greatest common factor would kind of be like, let's say we have the same thing, but it's minus 10x squared minus 5, right? Or this wouldn't be an x squared, that would just be x. And you like the greatest common factor here would be 5, and then this is just x squared minus 2x minus 1. But you can see that there is no greatest common factor in this equation on the left side. So how do you factor something like this then? Well, I don't know if it has an official name, right? But I know that I'm not the one who invented this, so I'm not saying that, and maybe there is a name for it, but I'll just call it the X method for now, which is kind of similar to the one we just did down there. But what you do is you would multiply this first term, which is our A, right? If you're going off the quadratic equation, by the last term. So 5 times -12 is -60. And what we can do is put that up here. And then we get, or we still put our -7 on the bottom. And it's still going to be the same rules, right? What adds to this and multiplies to this. Well, if you think about it, now I'll give you guys a couple seconds. Well, so you might be able to see that -12 and 5 makes this, because 5 minus 12 is -7, and 5 times -12 is -60. So from here, how would you go about factoring this? Well, what you can do from here is kind of take these terms and put them above this, like a fraction. So what I'm saying is, like, say we have our -12, right? We go -12 over our value of A, which in this case is 5. And if you can reduce it, then you have to reduce it by as much as you can, but this isn't reducible, right? This is the simplified form. And then we do the same thing with the other one. So 5 over 5. Now keep in mind that the A is on the bottom, right? And the terms that we find go on top, because I know that might be ambiguous with this one here. But so we have 5 over 5, which can be simplified to 1 over 1. Now, the way I like to think about it is that the bottom is your x's and the top is like just your constants. So when you factor this, it would then be the bottom, which is 5x, and then the top times, and then we just have x plus 1. And then we can expand this to see it quickly. So 5x times x is 5x squared. 5x times 1 is plus 5x, and then x times negative 12 is minus 12x, and then negative 12 times 1 is minus 12. So we get 5x squared. And then we know that 5 minus 12 is negative 7, so minus 7x, and then minus 12. And that's what we have up here. So that's really all I want to say with this video. Just a quick example too, nothing too much. But we do have a short on the channel that Abiram created that does have an example of this. So if you want to check that out, please make sure to do that. Thank you.